Hi, everybody. I'm Gabe Lloyd. I'm one of the event producers here for the Tour of Somerville. And today I am joined by Lauretta Hanson, a very special treat for us, a former winner of the event at the 70th anniversary mark. Lauretta, thanks for joining us here today. Such an honor to have you on the call. Before we get into it, really quick, what team are you racing for right now?
Hey Gabe, thank you so much for having me. I'm racing for Lidl-Trek in the World Tour, which is a really exciting, progression from racing Tour of Somerville back in 2015.
Yeah, and how long have you been racing for Trek?
I've been racing for Trek since they started the women's team in 2019, and so I'm in my 7th year in the World Tour.
That's amazing. Well, before we get to that, let's back up a little bit. So, where are you from originally? And sort of what are the things you did as a kid that got you into sport and athletic competition?
Yeah, so I'm from a small little town in regional Victoria called Fernhill. I grew up on my parents' cattle farm, and always as a kid, I was just really athletic. I loved sport. You know, I did every school sports I could, from cross country to netball, baseball, anything I could do. But I didn't start cycling until I was 10 years old, which is quite a long time. I've been racing now 20 years, I guess, in a professional. This is my 10th year as a professional. So, it's been a long journey. I started on the velodrome with my local club in Kyneton, Victoria, and raced track and road as a junior, and then just kind of progressed through domestic racing. And then in 2013, I came to America and raced some crits. I raced Tour of America's Dairylands, BC Super Week, and thought it was just going to be a one-off trip. And it really changed the trajectory of my life.
That's amazing. So you came to America, but you also studied here, right?
Yeah, so after that trip in 2013, I was approached by Milligan College by Zach Nave. He sent me a Facebook message, of all things. It was just like, hey, do you want to come to Tennessee? And 18-year-old me was, a little bit daunted by the prospect, but also I love to see where an opportunity leads. I never want to waste something. So we had a conversation, and it sounded like a great experience for me. So I started at Milligan College in 2014 and spent a year racing for their college team. We had a really successful year. I had quite a lot of success on track, road, and I even did a little bit of cross. It wasn't my best, but it was nice to try, especially as an Australian, where cross wasn't really a discipline in cycling. And then in 2015, I actually reached out to Fearless Femme just for a guest ride at Super Week, and Aruncon took me on, and it was really the beginning of something special. It's still one of my most favorite years of racing. They picked me up in a Chipotle car park in, I don't know, South Carolina somewhere before Athens. And it really started a fun year of racing.
Dude, that's such a great bike racing moment, right? Getting picked up in the Chipotle parking lot.
Sport is not glamorous always.
Yeah, that's amazing. So Fearless was... Well, actually, I'm going to back up real quick because I want to give a shout out to Milligan. If anybody listening doesn't know, Milligan has such a strong continuing history of finding just amazing athletes. I mean, Michaela McPherson just came through that program.
Megan Jastrab.
Yeah.
Zach has done a fantastic job of finding a lot of talent and really helping that talent sort of thrive and flourish. Like, I really think if I hadn't have gone to Milligan, then maybe I wouldn't be racing. It just kind of gave me the opportunity to be overseas in an environment that was comfortable and still supported. And I learned how to race in college racing. I learned how to live and be independent in America. And I have a lot of friends and a lot of great memories from that time.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, shout out to Zach. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump ahead then to Fearless. So Fearless Femme, get picked up in the Chipotle parking lot. You're doing some Speed Week stuff, which is an amazing race series down in southeast of America. And then you're doing Tour of America's Dairyland. But in the middle of that, you came to Somerville with that team, right? Is that how we got here?
Yeah. So originally I thought it would just be, a one-off guest ride at Speed Week, but it turned out to be a really good fit. I had some really great results. I won a couple of stages of Speed Week, which was, yeah, obviously a really great experience and a great indication that it was a good fit for everyone. So yeah, Rincon offered me a full-time position on the team, and I traveled to New Jersey and sort of settled into a host house in Lambertville, and really became a part of the team. So yeah, one of my first races as a full-time rider for the team was Tour of Somerville, and it was sort of one of our home races, so something that was really special and had a lot of meaning for the team. And yeah, in the year I raced, it was the 70th edition. So yeah, a lot of prestige, a lot of history behind the race, and something that was yeah, I guess a really momentous event.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of amazing athletes who have come through and added their names to the history books. But
Mm-hmm.
walk us through just sort of some of your memories from that day that you won. Like, there were some
Yeah.
things happening. Yeah, what was happening?
I remember being really nervous as well. Like, it was, I mean, we'd had a lot of fun and had a lot of success in Speed Week, but um, yeah, I guess with the history and the prestige of Somerville, it was a big event, and I was considered as one of the favourites. It was a crit and a good race for the sprinters, and we had some really strong competition with Laura Van Gilder and some other really good sprinters there. But we had a great team, and yeah, I remember in the final laps, I had Fiona Mead, the Irish champion. Um, I had Fiona Mead, the Irish champion, with me doing like the last sort of lead outs in the last couple of kilometers, and I remember being behind her, sort of yelling encouragements, trying to get her to hang on as long as possible so that Casey didn't have to go too early to start the lead out, because it was a long finishing straight. And yeah, we had Gary Ryan as one of our directors, and he told me in the pre-race meetings, like, don't go too early. There's a set of traffic lights. Don't jump before the traffic lights. And I was really trying to be patient, and yeah, knowing my competition, and knowing that Laura was a great sprinter, and yeah, really great competitor. So yeah, it was a tough final, and in the end, I got her by half a wheel, I think. And yeah, it was quite funny because Nelson had been on the sidelines. He was a friend of Fearless Femme, and he'd been talking with the spectator standing beside him, and they had a little bet between them that the guy thought that Laura was gonna win, and he put $1 saying that I would win. So there was some cool moments that came out after the race as well, and it was just a great atmosphere. Like, I remember standing on the podium with this ginormous trophy and almost dropping it, like this 70-year-old prestigious trophy, and I'm just about to drop it onto the ground. Yeah, it was a really cool event and a great memory.
Yeah, a lot of the people that you mentioned are still part of the community here at Somerville as well. So Guy Ellison always
Yeah.
comes and races with us. He's like a standard fixture of Somerville history as well.
Exactly.
Gary,
Icons of the sport.
yes, Gary Ryan is the owner of Vi13 Custom Apparel, and they're a sponsor of the Tour of Somerville. And he,
Fantastic. Even better.
and his wife Teresa Cliff Ryan has won the race a few
Mm-hmm.
times, and then Casey, then Manderfield, now Casey Lloyd. She was one of your lead out riders. She's now the race
Yeah.
director for the Tour of
Yeah.
Somerville. So it's like the webs we weave here in Somerville
It's
are really
really
cool.
crazy, like the network and the community around it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is fantastic. Well, Somerville was sort of one stop for you, and you were in the history books here,
Mhm.
and we're going to recognize you now and then at the
Thank
80th
you.
celebration.
Mhm.
What happened after Somerville, though? You went on to a few great things.
Yeah, so I continued racing through 2015 with Fearless Femme. We went to Tour of America's Dairylands, and I was in a very close battle with Tina Pick for the overall GC, and had some, a fun week of racing there. And then, yeah, I had a lot of good results through the year, but also in that year, I really learned how to race for myself and how to win. And I guess with those results, I got recognized by other teams, and I signed for my first UCI team in Colavita Bianchi at the time. So yeah, it really sort of helped start the progression of my career as a pro athlete and a UCI cyclist. So yeah, I joined Colavita Bianchi, and then that moved on to United Healthcare, and then in 2019 I joined Lidl-Trek. And even though now I don't get many opportunities to race for myself and race to win, I really feel like that year in 2015 and Tour of Somerville were sort of that crescendo, or that tipping point, where I learned how to be a cyclist. I honed my racecraft. I learned how to win, and also how to be a good teammate. Like, you learn what someone needs to be able to win races. So yeah, it was really a special year, and something that yeah, I look back on very fondly.
And if I may say so too, it was one of the reasons that you've been selected to represent Australia at World Championships as well, because you're one of those instrumental players on the team that understand what it takes to win, and you can help those winners now at your level to really accomplish. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I'm an important part of the Australian cycling team. I've raced at both World Championships and Olympics, and part of that is my ability to be a versatile teammate. Like, I can help in sprints, I can help in all different sort of technical courses, and quite often you'll actually see that the more technical city circuits are more of my forte. And I think a lot of that comes back to my background as a crit racer. I spent a whole year of just going round and round corners. So yeah, I still definitely see those traits that I picked up racing in America in my riding style now.
That's amazing. All right. Well, last question for you. For the 80th edition, any words of advice for anybody who hopes to put their name next to yours in the history books?
Have fun and don't go before the traffic lights.
Lauretta
I don't
Hanson.
know.
Oh my God, I love it. Let's leave it there. Lauretta Hanson of Lidl-Trek. I love it. Thank you so much for joining us here, and it's an honor to have you on the show here today.
Thank you so much for having me, and all the best for the 80th edition.